The Chargers are closer to contending than you might think. After watching the Super Bowl, it's clear they're not far off. With the right moves this offseason, they can close the gap on teams like the Chiefs and Eagles. In this video, I'm going to break down the key steps the Chargers need to take, from smart draft picks to strategic trades. Plus, we'll dive into a mock draft scenario that could shake things up. Stick around because this rebuild is right on track. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. All right, here's the good news. After watching the Super Bowl, you can't help but think, hey, we're not that far off. To see things from a Chargers perspective, one can clearly see the gap isn't as wide as it feels. Sure, there are things to fix, but this team is in year one of its building phase, and honestly, it hit all the right notes. The foundation is there, the culture is being set, and they nailed a couple of draft picks. Plus, they've got their quarterback. So let's get into it. Here are 3 moves the Chargers can make to close the gap with teams like the Chiefs and Eagles. These are spot on. Firstly, draft a top-tier tight end. No question about it. Everyone saw how involved tight ends were in the Super Bowl. They're a nightmare matchup. Defenses can't tell if it's a run or a pass, and that versatility is key. The good news for the Chargers is there's huge talent in this draft. There are guys like Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland in the first round, and if the Chargers wait until the second round, there's still plenty of talent. There's a guy from the Miami Hurricanes, Elijah Arroyo, who showed out at the Senior Bowl. No one could cover him. He's 6 feet 6 inches, 250 pounds. And runs routes like it's nothing. So yeah, tight ends are all over this draft, and the Chargers need to snag one. Secondly, trade for a top-tier wide receiver. We've already talked about this a lot. The Chargers need that game-changing wide receiver, and there are some big names potentially available. DK Metcalf is one to watch. He's the closest thing to the Chargers version of A.J. Brown, and there's talk he could be on the trade block. Then there's Devontae Adams from the Raiders, and Deebo Samuel from the 49ers. Both rumored to be available. Even Cooper Kupp, though maybe not top tier right now, would still be an upgrade over what the Chargers have. The point is, these guys aren't just wishful thinking, they're out there, and the Chargers need to make a move. And thirdly, draft a center early. This one's simple. The Chargers need to invest in their interior offensive line. Jim Harbaugh will make this a priority. Whether it's grabbing a center early or finding a solid guard later, the focus should be on strengthening that O-line. They could flip it too. Draft the tight end in the first round and get the center or guard later, or vice versa. Either way, both positions need to be addressed. The honest plan would be leaning toward drafting a center or guard earlier and grabbing a tight end later. The tight end class is deeper than people think, so they will still find good talent later in the draft. That's a solid approach. Now just think about it. The Chargers made the playoffs in their first year. Look at teams like the Eagles. They've been building this for years, and the Chiefs have got Patrick Mahomes and have been building a winning culture for the last 8 years, so yeah, the Chargers can do this. When you break it down, everyone's asking, what's the one draft pick the Chargers should focus on? A lot of people are pointing to Colston Loveland at tight end, and for free agency Najee Harris at running back. Here's why that matters. They should go after free agents strategically, maybe pick up a solid running back, trade for that top-tier wide receiver, draft a tight end, shore up the interior offensive line, and most importantly, re-sign Khalil Mack. Run it back with a stronger, more balanced squad. Now, here's what's really exciting. The defense. Sure, the Chargers need weapons on offense, but what's going to speed up this rebuild is how good the defense already is. Defense is the position that keeps the team in games. They're well coached, disciplined, and don't give up big plays. Teams can score, but they've got to work for it. The defense doesn't break down or fall out of position. And because the defenses are holding it down, they can focus their resources on building up the offense. That's exactly where they want to be. Now, let's talk cap space. The Chargers are sitting on about $63 million. That's going to shift as contracts come off the books and moves get made, but it's a good position to be in. And looking at mock drafts, it's clear there are good players at 22. Kenneth Grant is a solid pick. Tyler Booker, an interior offensive lineman from Alabama, should be available around there too. The Chargers don't really need an offensive tackle, but there are edge players and more interior offensive line prospects like Donovan Jackson. So the bottom line is there's going to be someone good at 22. And the rebuild is right there. The pieces are falling into place. So what do you think? Can the Chargers really become a top contender for the Super Bowl in the upcoming season? Share your thoughts in the comment section.